How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to Manatee Gaming. Welcome to episode 2 of Flip to Wealth. So, in this episode, I'm going to get a little bit more into depth on what you can do for mostly investing on this one. Investing, honestly, is just long-term flips. So, if you are looking to get into investing, then this is probably going to help you. So, choosing what items to invest in is a very difficult task. I mean, even for people who are very, very used to investing, and been doing it for a long time. Like, for example, I do a lot of investing in real life, and I do a lot of investing in the game. So even for me, who I have quite a bit of experience with it, it is always difficult for me to be like, what exactly to put my money into in Runescape in order to figure out what will give me the most money as far as like an output. Like your return on investment. So that's kind of what you have to consider because there's so many different items you can buy in RuneScape. And so many reasons to buy them as to why they might go up. And in all honesty, there could be a gigantic pool of items that will rise, and if you pick those items, then that's awesome. But that might have left you with another item that might have profited you more. But anyway, in this episode, I'm mostly going to be talking about accidental merching by using your supplies. So most people, when they're going to do a skill, will actually buy up all the supplies or most of the supplies, do that skill ahead of time. And that just makes sense because that way you don't have to go back and buy more. You don't have to worry about running out of supplies, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So let's say, for example, you are going to do 120, or no, it's not 120. Most people don't do 120s. Let's just try 99s. So a lot of players do 99s. So let's do some of the stuff I have in my inventory actually right here. Great examples of stuff that you might stock up for doing certain skills. So for yak hides here, you would stock those up if you want to do summoning, obviously. You'd stock up broad arrowheads if you want to do fletching. You might stock up magic shield bow use if you want to do fletching in a profitable way. Hint, hint. And you might stock up dragon stones if you want to do crafting. So as you can see, I've got a few of these items stocked here because I was interested in doing some of these, or maybe I was just stocking them up, or who knows why. But anyway, I've got a lot of them. So this right here is what I've got, and these numbers are going to come into effect here in just a second. So as you can see right here, any of these stacks of items is a decent amount of money. So in yak hides, it's 229 million. There's 24 million roughly in broad arrowheads. There's 193 million in magic shield bows. There's 658 or 9 million in dragonstones cut, and then there's 473 million worth of uncut dragonstones. So if you were to stock in any of these items or other items, just if you have a large amount, a large quantity of nearly any supply, it's going to be quite expensive. That leaves you with a massive opportunity to make a large profit. And I'll show you guys exactly how. And it's actually extremely easy. And yeah, it's actually one of the ways that I commonly make a decent flip without actually intending to make decent flips. So it's called the accidental skilling merch is what I call this one. So I've got a couple items in here that are selling. These are not really anything significant. I didn't stock these for any reason. These are actually just selling off from my 120 thieving loot tab. If you saw that video, so just ignore these items. But let's go look at, for example, let's take a look at uncut dragonstones. So these uncut dragonstones right here are 473 million. Let's say that I bought them right now at mid price, okay? So maybe I bought up 40,526 these at mid price. What you can do is even when you're not intending to sell these items, like obviously I don't want to sell these because I'm going to use these to get 120 crafting. I'm going to buy up a bunch more of these and get 120 crafting. But just because I don't have the intention to sell these does not mean that I can't make a good profit on these, possibly if the wind kind of blows that way. So 11,674. So if you're thinking to yourself, well, would it be nice if they just all of a sudden sold for 13,000? Yeah, look at that. Look at that. So if they sold for 13,000, that would be quite a big profit here. I'd make right around 50 million profit. Actually, a little bit over 50 million profit. So what I could do, honestly, is set them in there just like that. So if you're still stocking up items, like for example, for me, my uncut dragonstones, I need a lot more uncut dragonstones. I need like another 60,000, or no, sorry, I need like 110,000 more of these before I'm going to get done. But what I can do actually is set these in the Grand Exchange like this, and then just let them sit there. And if they happen to sell, which they have a possibility of selling, I know Uncut Dragon Stone is not really the greatest example in all honesty, because of the fact that these are totally not going to sell for 13,000 anytime soon in the Grand Exchange. Just because it's just looking at market values. But Uncut Dragonstones have definitely been much higher in the Grand Exchange at previous times, so it's always possible for them to sell at that price. But if you put any item in the Grand Exchange that you have a large quantity of, let's look at mahogany planks. For people who want to do 100, like 120 construction, 200 million construction, 99 construction, whatever you're looking to do, let's say you were to buy 500,000 mahogany planks. That's 1,072,000,000 gold. Now, these are at 21.45 on the buy, and let's say you purchase them for that price. Well, what you could do is, until you actually train your construction, you could be like, maybe I'll just throw them in there for $23.99 and see if they ever sell. Boom. If they happen to sell, you earn, as you saw, 127 million on your investment. Now the thing is, guys, is like, this might seem unrealistic, but it's really not unrealistic at all. There's several times, and I mean several times, that I have actually made a massive profit just by throwing in my random things into the Grand Exchange and then seeing if they were going to sell for more than what I paid for them. Because what I will often do, and this is because I have a large amount of gold, several billion gold. So with that in mind, I can do this. So for other people, it might be a little bit more difficult. But what I do is I will stock several different items at once. Like, for example, you can see right now that I've got a couple 100,000 of some of these here, and so I'm stocking multiple things at once. So what I might do is I might just have my yak hides here, might put those in for $4.99. Say I bought them for $4.20, throw those in for $4.99. If they sell, that's cool. I'll make 50 million profit or whatever, and then I might just put those in there until I feel like training that, and then I might still be buying up the other supplies. Because if I'm not going to use them right now, then I can always try to sell them for a profit. And if they do sell, cool, I made a nice flip. If they don't sell, then that's whatever. I'm going to use them for training anyway. This is a really good thing if you are actually like trying to stock up stuff for Double Experience Weekend. It's actually the same concept as that, because, for example, yak hides, I have 545,000 of these. I bought these. I'll just tell you, I bought these for 450 each, and I bought them in bulk. I bought 500,000 of them at once for 450 each. And then what will happen, hopefully, is this. So this is the kind of stuff that people don't usually tell you. But anyway, this is what I did. I paid this amount. I paid 245 million, and I bought all these in bulk. When Double XP comes around, I will try to push them for this price. So that 245 million will hopefully turn into 382 million. But the thing is, though, is you can do like a miniature Double Experience Weekend type thing by just throwing them in the Grand Exchange and seeing if they sell for a higher price. Things fluctuate. If you look at graphs on the Grand Exchange, there is hardly any items. Actually, here, let me correct myself. There are 0 items on like the wiki graphs that have a completely flat graph. The only ones that have a completely flat graph are the ones that just don't get traded. But everything else in the entire game is going to have a squiggly line for a graph where it goes up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down. And the reason why is because the price fluctuates from day to day to day to day to day. If you were to buy everything, here, I'll show you something. I'll show you something cool. This will give you a great example of what I'm talking about right now. So I'm going to sell one of these. So I'm going to sell one of these Magic Shield Bow U's, $5.95. So that sold for $5.95. Now let's go ahead and buy a Magic Shield Bow U. Buy one. And $6.05. Okay, so what you could do is have a buy offer for $5.95. And maybe that's your buy offer to stock these up for like weeks. Maybe you've got like 2 weeks and you're buying all these Magic Shield Bows. And then what you can do, though, is as you're stocking them up, you can actually throw them back in for $6.05. And they will actually sell over time. You could even try to go a little bit higher and see if they sell for a little bit higher. It's always possible for them to sell a little bit higher than that. But that's just kind of the general idea. It's kind of like an investing where you're trying to have a target price, but you don't know what the target price is going to be. Or it's like one of those situations where, like, I saved these dragon stones right here. Like, these are my personal dragon stones I've saved up so far, 658.9 million of these, or 0.9 million GP worth. Excuse my stuttering, blah blah blah. But if somebody was to offer me 9,900 in the Grand Exchange each, boom, that's 739 million for these. I would totally sell these in a heartbeat. In a heartbeat, I would sell these. So what I can do is just throw them in for a price that I would accept. Like, I would totally go restock those instead of using them if I was going to get that price. So that's kind of what you can do, is you can just be like, how much would I have to sell them for? On the low end, you got to be realistic. I can't be like, well, I'd totally take 15,000 each for these Dragonstones, because they will never sell for that in their Grand Exchange. But if you put it for a realistic value, like 9,900 is not unrealistic for Dragonstones, because they have definitely hit that price and higher in the Grand Exchange. So anyway, think about this the next time you guys stock up something. If I know there's people that are going to watch this video and are going to be like, well, I have 120 Herblore banked, or I have 99 Herblore banked. I've got 99 smithing banked. Let's take a look and see what those kind of skills would look like. For example, how about let's look at yeah, you know what? Fletching's a great one. So these broad arrowheads, right? You need a lot of these broad arrowheads. It's only 15 EXP each one of these. So if I do quick math here, 90 million divided by 15, 6 million. You have to have 6 million of these broad arrowheads in order to do 90 million EXP worth of fletching. So if you have these stocked up, because you're going to go do 120 fletching, and this is a very common route for people to do 120 fletching, and actually even to do 99 fletching is do broad arrowheads. So if you bought them at 71 GP each, you could totally put them in there and slap them in for 84, and you can make 80 million GP if they sell. Oops, and I totally just realized that I was going to throw them in there. Yeah, whatever. But if they sold for 84, then you're going to make that profit. If not, you're just going to have your items stocked up. So I call it having options. You want your money to always have options. So instead of sticking your stuff in the bank, if you've got some extra GE slots, then throw them in there. I can take these magic shield bows, all these magic shield bows here, throw them in there for 900. If they sell, I'll make a ton of money. Cool. And I'll just let them hang out in there. Because if they're sitting in your bank, you're never going to get an offer on them. But if they're sitting in the Grand Exchange, who knows, you might come back, log back in, and hey, they're all gone, and you just made a ton of money. So I really hope this video helps you guys out. This is what I call the accidental skilling merch. The accidentally selling your stock of skilling supplies for way more than what you paid. Actually, this totally happened to me. Probably my biggest time this ever happened to me was during Herblore. And let me give you guys an example of exactly the effect of what it had on me for my Herblore investment. I bought, and you guys are probably going to know exactly where I'm going with this as soon as I say it. I bought 1 million Wine of Zamorak's, and I paid 2.5 billion for 1 million Wine of Zamorak. So at the time, 2,500 each, and I bought 1 million of them. During that next double EXP, they went to, I think it was 8,500 each. So on my investment, just because I had them stocked up, I was able to make 6 billion gold on a single item flip. Now, yes, that took a ton of money to invest, but just because I was like always looking, always looking to see if I can maybe get a good price on my Herblore stuff. And the funny thing is too, is I saw the prices skyrocketing on Wine of Zamorak, and I was like, 4,000 each, that's really good. I make a ton of money. 5,000 each, holy cow! I would literally make 2.5 billion if I sold them right now, because when you own 1 million of an item, for every 1 GP that it rises, you make a lot. You make 1 million for every GP that it goes up. So 2,500 million worth of Wine of Zamorak, if it goes 2510, you make 10 million gold. So it ended up happening. I sold them at 8,500 each, and I made 6 billion gold on that. And that is actually a big reason as to why I was able to start rolling my bank into the upper billions and like multiple billions is because I started doing stuff exactly like I'm telling you guys in this video. So definitely take it into consideration of stocking up all your items and then just throwing them in the bank throwing in the GE at a price higher than what you paid just to see if they sell. You know, it's always good to give it a chance, because if you never give it a chance, it can never happen. And as you can probably tell, I was extremely happy about what happened with my herb lore, and that obviously paid for herb lore and everything else. Well, all right, guys. If you're enjoying this series, which I hope you are, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, leave me a comment below if you have some questions about flipping or investing, and I will see you guys in the next Flipping for Wealth video with Manatee Gaming. Catch you guys later.